punched that little boy in the face when he was 6.5 years old. And this happened in 2022. When did Steph move in with Drew? In 2022. So this man lets a woman move in with him and then lets this woman punch his son in the face, giving his son a black eye, and then continued to let the woman live there?
Here's the report, and it says DHS called me yesterday to let me know his dad's girlfriend gave him a black eye.
A little later than I was anticipating to post. I was busy baby making with the hubby, you know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. I just thought I'd give you guys your latest shish to talk so you can make your car payments next month. But for real, I'd really like to know what y'all's issue is with me and Drew, because personally, what have we ever actually done to either of you? That's right, absolutely not shit. And if you want to go and be like, yeah, well, the baby mama's okay, but they didn't have no issue with us until we went viral. If that doesn't speak levels as to what their intention was, I don't know. I'm not going to keep explaining that. Go on, explain yourself. If I explain myself, you're not even going to take 2 seconds to actually pay attention to my perspective. You're going to go ahead and listen to all the perspectives that I put out there about me. Make that make sense. All I will say is accidents happen, and if I was some kind of trap, Drew would not be with me. He most definitely would not be with me. I don't smack my kids around. I love my kids. Y'all just searching for anything you can to try to put the blame back on me instead of call out the person who neglected to be a part of his life up until this point.
Now, this is Stephanie coming forward and saying, even if I do address this, you guys aren't going to agree. You're not going to listen. You're not going to hear my side. But basically, anybody can make up anything. So this is in reference to the son who lives with them. This is his baby mama saying that she actually submitted a report against Stephanie for laying hands on him, and he ended up with a black eye. Now, she is saying this is not the case. Accidents happen. So I don't know if it was an accident or that's what she's claiming. She really doesn't go on to explain any of it.
But now all of a sudden, like, she's posting these long snips of her brushing his hair and him swinging on the swing and talking to him and giggling with him. But, like, she never did that before. So are you trying to prove that you are a good mom?
You see, because these parents started a TikTok account called the Resilience Jenkins Crew, where they play the sympathy card with their audience as they share their extreme poverty living conditions as a family of 7 living in that tiny little apartment. That tiny little apartment got them to go viral in the first place. That tiny little apartment bought their kids beds and other...
Hey everyone, it's your girl Sin Stacks from blackwomedia.com. I am back, meaning I'm showing my face for the very first time. The last time that you guys did see my face, I was pregnant with my son, and since then I obviously gave birth, and that was many months ago. So today in this video, we're going to dive into a very controversial family on TikTok and social media, period. And this is the Resilient Jenkins family. Now, for those of you who may not know, this family started a stir and a lot of outrage with a lot of different people for a lot of different shit. Now, they started going viral on TikTok, and this was last year in 2024. Stephanie, quote, Jenkins, and I'll tell you why I'm putting quotes on Jenkins, and Andrew Jenkins, who goes by Drew. This is her baby's father. Now, this was a family of 6 at the time because Stephanie was pregnant. She hadn't given birth to their second child. They have 2 children with each other, a toddler, and of course the baby that she was pregnant with. And then 4 other kids, one that he has custody of, which I don't know how he has custody of this kid, and then her kids from a previous relationship. So she started posting videos, I guess, trying to make it seem as if she was a regular, struggling family, poor, but living in a disgusting 1-bedroom. Her pregnant, this deadbeat of a father, and I'll explain to you guys why in a few. And these 4 kids, okay, and then it became 5, obviously, all right, after she gave birth, living in a 1-bedroom apartment. And these kids, where were they sleeping? They had no beds. They were sleeping on the floor. She was giving them padded mats, this little toddler, as her and Drew slept in a master bedroom. These kids were sleeping on the kitchen floor and the living room floor. And what pissed off a lot of people, a lot of parents too, like myself, was the fact that they were living in the living room right by the entrance of the door where anyone, a stranger in the middle of the night, could just come open the door and take these kids. Now, throughout all these videos, showing herself cleaning, and people are just noticing more and more shit, how disgusting the house is. You can tell a lot of stuff she hadn't cleaned for a long time. And she doesn't have enough money to go ahead and buy these kids, not even shoes, her toddler that she shares with Drew. A lot of the time you see this kid and he's not even wearing shoes outside. You can tell they haven't had a haircut. You know, Drew's oldest son, not oldest, second oldest, we'll get into that baby mama drama in a few, and a lot of other bombshells, you know, and really sad. You can tell he hasn't had a haircut in a while. And she's just trying to make it seem as if everything is just so normal. She made excuses as to why she didn't have beds for them, all that they damage it, and that she even uses it as a form of punishment. Where is CPS? How are they allowing this? She was living in this one bedroom for 3 years. And then she goes and she makes a video and says that they're being evicted. Now, from what I heard, she got several notices of evictions. All right. So they have to pack up and they have to get their shit. Now, I do have to mention, they rely on TikTok. They have a wish list and a lot of sponsors, donors out there buying them shit that you find on Temu, cheap ass shit, things. People are giving her, people are giving her things that she should automatically have, like educational posters that the school went and gave the kids, multiplication tables, addition tables, things that every mother buys their child at a young age. I did for my oldest son. He had it all over in his room, you know, and it was for years. Every kid should have a poster like that. I mean, just simple fucking shit. Now, I do have to mention, before I head over to the next stage of this story, I do have to mention that while these kids are sleeping on the floor, and of course, like I said, they're in their master bedroom, she goes and she has enough money. She doesn't have enough money to buy a bed, but someone went and brought them a bed for their kids because she can't obviously afford a proper apartment with the proper amount of bedrooms. But it was okay when someone went on social media and brought her kids a bed. But to make things worse, this woman went and brought this fucking lazy ass motherfucker who allegedly was doing DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that. And obviously he wasn't making enough money for these kids, you know what I'm saying? These kids to be sleeping on the floor and everybody cramped up in a one fucking bedroom. She goes and she buys him a PS5. Yeah. And also it came with a chair, a gaming chair, very similar to what mine's looks like. And it's like the fucking audacity. Your kids are sleeping on the floor. They got fleas and ticks from these cats that they had, which I have to get into because they both committed animal cruelty. They did the most fucked up shit ever. They had 4 cats at one point in time and then 3 cats. So when they started getting, you know, the notice, they got the notice of eviction that they had to get the fuck up out because it is illegal in Oregon and Portland for 7 people. This is after she gave birth, so now there's 7 to be living in a 1-bedroom apartment. You can't do that. So she goes and said, by the way, that she was getting evicted because people from social media, you know, I guess contacted her landlord. So she goes and she posts a video. Of course, I'm going to post it here for you guys to see. For those of you who don't know about this family, and this is why I'm putting you guys on. She went and showed herself walking to the dumpster with cat litter boxes, bags of their stuff, and litter, throwing it in the dumpster, and then making a video with all the reasons as to why they think it's best that she goes and dumps these cats out in the street. So that's exactly what she did. She let all 3 cats out into the street to live.
After debating for some time, we decided we will not have indoor cats when we move. Prior to me and Drew getting together, I had 1 cat and he had 1 cat. The cat that he had was a stray that came in from outside, and the cat that I had was a cat that I received from a friend. Becoming a family, we brought in 2 other stray cats. So at one point we did have 4 cats in this apartment. That seriously did not last long, not even more than a couple of weeks. And then my cat Conscious, who's always been a free spirit, wanted to go outside, and so we let her do so. It's always been my opinion that if you have cats and they act like they want to go outside, let them outside. They're animals. And I don't mean for that to sound any bit insensitive. To me, it seems like you're doing the cat a disfavor when they're asking to go outside. That's where they want to be happy, and you're not letting them go. And let's be honest, as much as we love our fur babies, they sure do mess up the inside. I won't miss waking up to cat hair all over my counters. And yes, I am aware that's probably more than likely why we dealt with a flea issue to begin with. We just wanted our kids to experience having their fur babies inside with all the cuddles they wanted. But we feel now it's just the best interest in all of our family members to have them just be outdoor kitties. That does not mean we just stick them outside and not take care of them. Our cats still get plenty of cuddles and they get fed every day. But this way, they get to be the free spirits they like to be outside, and we can go about preventing some of the damages that cats bring to a home as well as all the cat hair. But we always...
And making a video with all the reasons as to why they think it's best that she goes and dumps these cats out in the street. So that's exactly what she did. She let all 3 cats out into the street to live. Then after the outrage and people were just screaming, hello, that's animal cruelty. It's also a misdemeanor in her state where she lives at. And you can look this up. It is illegal to take a domesticated cat, not a feral one that's been living in the street their whole life, and take that domesticated cat and go ahead and throw them like fucking trash into the street. She then made a list of excuses saying the cats were damaging shit. Also the cats, I guess, went giving the kids fleas, and that's because of her not taking care of these cats. There's treatment for fleas. Like, I've done it for many years with cats and dogs that I rescued from the streets or just regular house pets. It's not that fucking cheap. Once again, this dude is not pulling in money. She's not fucking working. She dumped the cats in the street and gave a whole bunch of reasons why. After the outrage, people were saying, crazy shit. She then came out with a video saying that she contacted Animal Care Control and all this stuff. Those poor cats were dumped like trash. So now she has to start packing her shit up, and they have to leave. And a whole bunch of allegations start coming out. Now, Drew's baby mother comes out on TikTok and says, listen, I really didn't want to say this, but guess what? It's not because they're viral, but, this is the truth. He has another son, and that son is the son that we share, which is his oldest son. He's 12 years old, and Drew does not allegedly take care of him at all, according to the first baby moms, who wanted to make it very clear that she is the first baby moms. And I'm going to play that video right now so you guys can hear it right out of the horse's mouth about how much of a deadbeat this man is.
I reached out that everybody saying they have 2 loving parents walked out of his son's life when he was 2. Okay. Hasn't seen his son since he was 5. And that's because I reached out to him to come to his kindergarten graduation. And at the time, he only had 1 child, which was the little black boy you guys see in his videos. That's my oldest's little brother. Now, my oldest, who's at the top, because he will be 12, doesn't even know he has 2 other siblings. So no, they didn't meet when he had 1 child. He probably has more. He hasn't paid child support, but he has a PS5. I feel bad for those kids.
You heard it. He hasn't been taking care of his kids, hasn't seen his kids, his son, his oldest son, in years. According to him, they're taking child support out of his check. Really sad. And I have a huge update as I'm actually filming this. Yeah, he may be going to jail, and I'm going to explain why. So baby mama drama, comes out and says, hey, you guys think that that's his only son? No, I'm the first baby moms, and he doesn't take care of his first kid. I'm not the mother to the son that you guys see living with him and Stephanie. Then someone goes and gets a hold of a DHS letter. And this was from 2022. Allegedly, it states in this DHS letter that Stephanie allegedly went and punched. She allegedly went and punched this little boy, Drew's second son, that is living with them, in his eye. In his eye, she allegedly punched this boy in his eye, leaving a fucking mark. And I'm going to show that here as I'm talking in the video. I mean, that's so crazy. Honestly, looking at him and his behavior, he looks like the type that if she allegedly went and did this, he would still stay with her. And if he did that to her kids, vice versa, I think that she would stay with him. So baby mama drama. Then a DHS letter comes out from 2022. By the way, that's when they got together, stating that she allegedly went and punched this kid in the face. Now, she seemingly went and acknowledged it in a video and said that people make mistakes. CA is not a mistake. It's not a mistake at all. So yeah, bitch, please. So there goes that. And then in the midst of all of this, you know, people probably wondering, like, why isn't she getting help besides the donations that you guys are fucking sending her, shit that she can get at Family Dollar or Dollar Tree for her kids, okay? And so people are probably wondering what the hell. Well, guess what? Stephanie's mother comes out and she makes her video on TikTok, and she wants it to be known that she has went and contacted Stephanie, and she offered Stephanie and her grandchildren to come live with her so that they don't have to go and endure all of this bullshit, because clearly they're not being provided a safe environment, the proper environment. They don't have beds to sleep on and all of that bullshit. And I'm going to play the video right now of Stephanie's mother saying exactly what happened when she told her and gave her the invitation to come live with her.
So I've been asked a couple times now by a couple of people, what do I think about Stephanie's situation? I don't need to say Stephanie who, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Watching my daughter go viral because she's doing such a great job has been one of the hardest things I have ever had to sit back and watch. Watching my daughter make decisions to stay with a man who clearly does not care about her, doesn't care about those children, continues to bring her down, keeps her from even having the sense to reach out to her family and ask for help. I know you watch her videos and you see, oh gosh, she really hates her mom. There's really, you know, I'm not convinced she hates her mom. I'm convinced she knows that I'm the one person who could rescue her, who could set her straight, who could help her come to her senses, and she's too scared to reach out to me. It's hard when you are living in the type of relationship that she's in to admit you're wrong and leave. And I've seen it firsthand. I worked as a domestic violence advocate. I know it doesn't happen overnight. Anyhow, I haven't said a lot because I don't want my words to get twisted and for it to drive an even deeper wedge between me and Stephanie. I hope at some point our relationship can be reconciled and we can move past this. And I haven't seen my grandkids in over a year. I have a new grandbaby who I've only seen on social media when other people post videos of my grandbaby. The whole situation is heartbreaking and I have no other words to say about it. But I've been asked and I've decided just to at least clear the air a little bit. Anyhow, I am here for Stephanie. But make no mistake, I have absolutely no room in my heart, in my home, or anywhere in my, I can't even go there. Drew's not welcome here. He's not welcome here.
You guys went and heard it. So Stephanie's mother is saying that when she told Stephanie, hey, come over and live with me with my grandkids under one condition, and that condition was that Drew wasn't allowed to be at her house, this woman went and chose dick. She chose penis over her fucking kids, and this is one of the most sickest shits ever. She's like, no, we're gonna stay cramped up or we're gonna be homeless. I don't care. I'm gonna stick by this man who's a bum, who stays on his headset. I mean, you see him cleaning like he's fucking 15 years old, kicking back. He's had like 150 different fucking jobs. He said it himself. Just crazy. So Stephanie was given an opportunity to provide these kids with a temporary place until she got somewhere. Guess what? They are now living in a motel. Now, the first motel that they moved into, according to Stephanie, people on social media went and called the motel and said, hey, do you guys know that you have 7 people cramped up in a small ass motel? And so they got kicked out. Now they're at another motel, and this is where they have been living. She's been posting videos. Of course, I'm playing them here.
On your head. Little baby. You're so sticky. So sticky. So sticky.
All over the carpet, never comes out.
Slime. Yeah, video. Bullshit.
Good job, Bubba. Good
Kids sprawled all over the beds. They have to sleep on the beds too. And then she's like cooking dinner and, you know, food and shit like that in the motel bathroom. Really disgusting, making excuses that the reason why they can't get housing is because they don't qualify. They make $120,000 less. This woman is full of nothing but fucking excuses. She really is. So they're living in this motel and more bombshells are coming out. And the reason why I said Stephanie Jenkins, because Jenkins is not her last name. She isn't married to Andrew Jenkins. In fact, she's married to a man who is behind bars because he is a PDF file for SA. Yes. His record is extensive. His record is extensive. Okay. It goes back to when he was 16 years old. His name is Jeremiah Thompson. I'm going to pull up his mugshot here as I'm talking and you guys can see the charges. Since he was 16 years old, he's just been a menace to society and a sick fuck. At 16 years old, he SA'd his own mother and she was 60 years old at that time. And then things just got worse. At 14 years old, he went and SA'd a 7-year-old girl. Then when he was a little bit older, about a year or two, he went and did something to a 14-year-old girl. I mean, just sick shit after sick shit after sick shit. But no, this woman went and she married him. She married him knowing that he had a history of this fucking SA and brought this man around her kids. That is not a fucking mother. That is an animal. That is a woman that is just giving birth. That's what she's doing. She's just popping babies out of her fucking body and she cannot afford to keep these kids. She can't afford anything for them, relying on people to buy her shit. You should get your tubes burned and you shouldn't be having kids. I mean, you shouldn't be having kids at all. And then now to my most recent update, which is really crazy. On April 7th, which was just 3 days ago, Andrew, he went and had a court date with his first baby moms. Arlita, if I'm not mistaken, that's her name. And it was for child support. She made it very clear that it's not the fact that they have gone viral. It is the fact that he hasn't been taking care of his son for years. She showed up and she showed up through a link. She showed up in person. She says she waited over an hour. Okay, I'm going to play the video for you guys right now and listen to her side of the story.
In about 9:58 or whatever. And I can tell you that me and a couple of people were sitting in there for an hour with us sitting in that room. And mind you, I was on the phone one. And I was also on, the live stream. So that link, that support link, that was the link that took you to like seat inside. And we were sitting on there for an hour. I even logged off, logged back in. Was sitting there for an hour. So I don't believe he showed up.
So you guys just heard what she went and said. So there looks like there is a bench warrant for Andrew's arrest. Now, a bench warrant, they don't come knocking at your door. If he gets stopped at a red light or if he gets into trouble, it will pop up. But they're not going to, go bang his door down like the SWAT. So, I mean, he's just doing more shit over and over to show like how much of a POS he is and how much of a horrible father he is. He didn't even show up for an appointment. Not an appointment, a fucking court date for child support, okay? And then, like she said, he went MIA on social media, and it's just so fucking sad. This is probably one of the worst families that we have ever seen, not on just TikTok, but on social media. They went from a family of you know, 6, because at that time she didn't give birth, living in a 1-bedroom, kids walking around with no shoes. You can tell Andrew's son hasn't had a haircut, and I don't know how fucking long. Really sad, and just a disgusting house. And then now they get evicted. She has excuses after excuses why she can't provide a proper environment, and now they're in a crack motel. And it's just really sad. And I do want to say one thing before I end this video, guys. Shame on Child Protective Services over there in Oregon and Portland. Shame on you for allowing this woman to have these kids in these conditions. I know that you have been involved with her, okay, in her life several times, because she says she learned from it, but apparently she hasn't. And you guys don't have your fucking foot on this woman's throat hard enough. You need to put your foot down and let her know what the fuck it takes to be a mother and what she needs to do. Because clearly she hasn't learned her lesson from her other cases, whether they were founded or unfounded. But a lot of people have called CPS on her. And if these kids get taken away, you know what? I don't feel bad. They will be way better off. According to her, they won't. But according to the world and what she's not seeing, they will be. They won't be sleeping on the floor, okay? And walking around in a dirty ass fucking house, and not just a house, but a crack motel. So guys, there you have it. The resilient Jenkins family. If you didn't hear about them before, well, now you know. Just horrifying and so sad. I really will pray for these kids, okay? And I suggest you do the same thing too if you're a godly person or you have some sort of faith and hope. But honestly, these kids staying with these two parents, they're just going to repeat the same generational curse, and it's really sad. Very, very sad. Guys, it is your girl, Sin Stacks from blackroommedia.com. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. You'll be doing